No problem. So let me see. Boy, all right.
Okay, looks like participants are in. Yay, welcome everybody. We'll get started here momentarily.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right, so we'll just click through to get it live on Facebook as well. So if you guys are watching us live now, welcome. We have Spanish translation. Our wonderful Martha Sanchez, thank you, is doing Spanish translation. So if you have anyone that's looking for that, make sure they have the Zoom link and join here because the replay on One Team Global Live Facebook will not have the Spanish translation. So get them that link. Thank you, Martha, for doing that. Thank you, Scott, for orchestrating all the pieces and getting us here. And thank you, Dr. Joe Chang. Yay. The world traveler.
Hi, Sierra.
Hello. Let me see if Scott's got us broadcasting yet. I think we'll give it just a second so
Yeah,
he can.
we're on live with Facebook.
All right. Okay. Love it when tech works. Thank you so much, Scott, for all that you do and working behind the scenes to make the magic happen. So appreciate you. All right. Well, everybody, get excited. Thank you for everyone's patience and being a couple minutes tardy here, but I promise you it will be worth your lunch break here. So I have the pleasure of working with and interviewing and introducing to you one of my favorite humans. He's been an inspiration to me for most of my adult life here. 24 years with New Skin, and this man has paved the way for what it looks like to live your very best life and what we're going to talk about today in aging backwards, essentially, and the aging myth, really. There's no one better than Dr. Joe Chang to talk about it. This man has a PhD in pharmacology, postdoctoral
Hey,
research.
Sierra,
Yes,
I need to put the record on. Is that okay? I'm so
go for it.
sorry.
No, you're good. That's fabulous. Great. Nice catch, Scott. Got so excited. It's going off. Okay. So, numerous research articles, prolific author, um, and many books, which we'll talk about here. New York Times bestselling author of Aging Myth. And why we wanted to gather up today was multifactorial, but being that Dr. Joe Chang is our Chief Scientific Officer at Nu Skin, we are so lucky to have him paving the way for really what it's all about when we're talking about nutrigenomics and epigenetics, why it's important, and what you can do about it. So, Joe, if you want to just give us a little bit of background about why you're so passionate that you wrote a second edition 15 years later, let's start there.
Well, yeah, Sarah, it's a great question, right? First of all, hi everybody who's just joined the call and so on. I hope to sort of maybe explain and describe what I've done with in this new book. And really, it's sort of I've written many books in my life, but many of them are very technical. They're really only meant for scientists or fellow scientists to read, and the language is so arcane. There's so much jargon in it, and so on and so forth. And it's sort of real until I came into New Skin and so on and in Pharmanex, I realized, science is something that can be explained if it can be done correctly. And that's what led me, one thing led to another. And finally, I put the original book together for the aging myth. And it was based on a discovery or an insight more than anything else in among our scientists and what we have done in New Skin. And that is asking a very simple question, and that is aging inevitable? And it's sort of like up to that point, back in, I would imagine 2003, 2004. It's sort of to us, we kept on asking and persisted in asking the question, and finally we say it isn't, because something is happening at some basic fundamental level in the body, okay, that is changing, and it's changing because of life. Okay. Now, when we took that particular insight into our thinking, we sort of think, well, if lifestyle can actually affect something fundamental in the body, I would imagine we ought to be able to change it back in a way, right? And because lifestyle is just an external factor. So that started our thinking. And finally, I mean, this fundamental level that we that we discovered, or actually in collaboration with some other professors at University of Wisconsin, was at the genetic level. And it became clear, and it was not just us, we were focusing on aging, but other folks, other scientists were focusing at the genetic level to discover other things, diseases and so on and so forth. So they did converge our thinking, and finally I say, well, that's where we have to go, and that is really the beginning of our journey, if you will, at the genetic level, and this is where we have to really one of the major reasons again in this particular sort of a discussion that we have is because I wrote the book because it became clear to me. Everybody, most people, if you're not a scientist, I guess, it immediately when you mention genes, it's almost like the reaction is you cannot change genes. They're immutable. It's fixed. You're born with the genes, and there's nothing you can do about it, kind of thinking. And it's a very black and white reaction, and I can totally appreciate why that is so. And that led me to say, well, there's something that's happening at the genetic level that is actually changeable, and that is its activity. It's a subtle but very profound difference between changing or mutating a gene. That's what most people refer to when you try to say, well, we're going to change your genes. They will say, oh, you're going to mutate my genes. I'm going to become Frankenstein. Yeah, and all that. But I'm really not referring to that. I'm really referring to gene activity. And more correctly, it's called gene expression. Right? It's activity. Because there's only one thing that genes do, and that is to make a protein eventually. Yeah, there's nothing else. It doesn't do anything else but make proteins. And each gene that makes a protein, that protein behaves differently. It can either behave as an enzyme, can behave as a structural component of your cell, your skin, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's key. So it's gene expression we're going after, and that's what spurred me to say, I think I better write a book on this a little bit to explain more clearly what we're doing. And we call this whole approach that we have in New Skin H-Lock. Yeah. And it's really referring to gene expression. That's how we started, Sierra, on this whole deal, on the first book. So it's all about gene expression. And the example I used was really based on the fact on my parents. One died with this is something also you should remember, is the fact that it's quality of life that is way more important than how long you live. Because both my parents lived up to about the same age, but the challenge was my dad never had a good quality of life. During his last 5 years of his life, is more or less spent in a wheelchair. Yeah. So whereas my mom, it's miraculous to me. It's miraculous. I mean, she essentially just closed her eyes one day and never opened them again. But up to that point, she was healthy. And the reason why I know she's healthy is because she's always walking about. Yeah. She's always has a snide remark to make about me, thinking I'm still a 9-year-old, and say, why are you not doing this? I said, that mom, I think I've grown up. I got to, you say, you're still a 9-year-old as far as I'm concerned. So that's the challenge. And that was a good metric for me. It was a scanner in a way for me to detect, well, mom is still okay. She still thinks I'm a 9-year-old and has this incredible mental ability to tell me what to do. So that's the difference. And that's what one thing led to another and gave me confidence, the H-Lock approach that we had, which we describe in the original edition, will lead to something meaningful, functionally meaningful in the body.
I love that. Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, as we know, science changes daily, but with 15 years in between, there's so much that's been done as far as longevity research and what people are talking about as far as oxidative stress, mitochondrial repair, cellular resilience, right? So I'm loving that there's this new addition that also coincides with what you've created with the Prism IO, this
Yeah.
new incredible tool that we have to measure all of that, right? So maybe a little bit on what brought
Yep.
you to then go, well, fabulous to educate the masses, but also now
Yep.
here's your tool to go measure and do something about it. Thank you for
Yep.
that, by the way.
No, it's interesting, Sarah, because over the last 10 years, obviously, like you mentioned, science has progressed a whole bunch, very significant. We're taking leaps and bounds in terms of understanding how the body functions and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we learn more about gene expression and so on and so forth. But still, a worry sort of gnaws at me in terms of, especially for folks in the field, in the world of new skin, and said, yeah, really, come on, face it. I was talking to myself. I'm going mad, and sort of say, why on earth do you think gene expression is so important? It's important to you because your knowledge base is very different from the rest of the world, rest of the field. Don't you think you need to maybe up the ante a little bit and explain or translate what gene expression means? You can't just leave it and say it affects everything. And what is everything? Perhaps you might even be more powerful if you can do a translation. All right. And I say, okay, maybe it's time. After 10 years, I think we have developed the ability to translate genetic activity changes or gene expression changes into something we call functional or physiological. In other words, your lungs work better, okay? Or your metabolism is way better, yeah? Or you can sleep better. Those things everybody understands and everybody can relate to that. Okay, I don't have to really uh, convert everybody into a scientist. Oh, well, your gene gene cluster. That was a term that we used to describe gene expression changes. Yeah, it sounds really nice and appealing and maybe even compelling, but what does it really mean to that individual? And that's the translation. I really analogy. It's about, if all of you one day would go over and visit the pyramids, you would imagine in Egypt, all the pyramids have hieroglyphics on it. You may not realize the hieroglyphics were never translated until about 150 years ago, or slightly more than that. Okay. It is Napoleon conquered Egypt, and one of his sort of archaeologists or whatever dug up this slab of stone. And on this slab of stone, it had three languages. The top was hieroglyphics. The middle was an ancient kind of a demotic language, they call it. And finally, the third one was ancient Greek, which every archaeologist was able to read working in Egypt. Because until the discovery of this stone, right, with the three languages, all of us thought that hieroglyphics were just cartoons, that the Egyptians 5,000 years ago would just love drawing on their pyramids. They were nothing but was actually a language. And that's how we learn how Egyptians 5,000 years ago, what was their life and what was their culture and so on. That slab of stone, in case you ever go to London British Museum, is called the Rosetta Stone. Okay. So I think what we have, and I'm trying to say the aging myth, this new edition, is sort of a form of a Rosetta Stone. It translates what we've been talking about, the gene expression, and link them to metabolism, link them to how these ingredients that you mentioned, nutrigenomics, how certain food ingredients and natural products can actually influence it. And what does it translate to? Changes in your metabolism, changes in your nutritional deficiency. In fact, it even translates to a positive impact on your mind. That's
As
the
a,
basis. Yeah, that's the basis of Mind 360.
I love it. And that when you and I
Yeah.
talked about it before it launched, and you said, Sierra, stop talking about just antioxidants. It's
Yeah.
nutritional health,
Yes.
comprehensive nutritional wellness. I went,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. How cool that many different scans that we had done previously with AI and your brain have put together this device that can show everybody a key into what's going on. Our Rosetta Stone. I love it.
Yeah. It's amazing, right? I've done all the physiology or biochemistry or whatever it is, and took hopefully each chapter takes you through that translation and help you to relate. The final chapter is on the devices.
Yeah.
And that's the one, and there's a fairly significant section on the prism.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned to you, Sarah, don't think about it as just an antioxidant. We have actually translated that measurement of the antioxidant into a measurement of nutritional health.
It's amazing.
That's really, I'm hoping people will get out of it, because it is not just an upgrade of the biophotonic scanner that we have. Many of you have played with the scanner, and it's still difficult. I knew it as soon as we launched this Prism, that many of you, all right, are going to say, "Oh, yeah, it's an antioxidant." And if you're successful in sort of giving out that narrative, you'll continue with that. It's okay. But do remember, it took you more than 20 years. I've been talking about antioxidants for 20 years to get all of you, sort of legacy leaders or whatever you call the old leaders to finally get it. We don't have 20 years to go through. Nutritional health. That is the one that I think you might be able to get people to
Yeah.
react to that particular question much more readily. So
Yeah.
that's why we translate it. So there's a whole chapter, a whole section on it in the new book too. And obviously on the beauty side, we also have become the number one, beauty device systems company in the world. And that is obviously due to all the efforts through all of you. And I think we'll continue to be that when you can really truly understand how we came about those devices and why they're there.
Yeah. That makes sense. And just in a couple of days here, we're launching the LifePak tablets.
Yes.
Really excited about that. I had a sample of them in Madrid. I haven't eaten them because I'm using them for content, but
Aha. Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the reformulation there. And, how did you squish it all into just 10 tablets for us? And thank you for doing that too.
Well, remember previously we had it in capsules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it took us a long time to be able to figure out a tablet formulation that is actually will do as well or to be absorbed effectively as a capsule. That we have achieved. That was what drove us to say, finally, we can get into a tablet. And tableting technology, allows us to compress the ingredients into a much smaller form.
Okay.
You've seen the tablets, haven't you? They're
Yep.
fairly small.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Super tiny.
Capsules you can't, because the capsule, when you look at a capsule, it is the size, it is what it is.
Got
And that's big. And when you have, I don't know, 4 to 5 up to 7 capsules, that's a lot. Yeah, I can see you grimacing. So, and I think the tablet, at least on the compliance side, folks will find it way more, I'll use, no pun intended, you find it way more palatable to take these tablets, okay? Yeah, don't worry. I think you might detect a little bit of a smell, because now it's not totally enclosed in a capsule.
Okay.
Yeah, so you smell it, but that's your typical medicinal smell or the natural odor of all the ingredients that we use. Okay,
Okay.
it's not that, oh gosh, where is this? Because of the active ingredients, they do have a particular odor to them in that sense. But absorption is as good. One of the things, a couple of ingredients we also had to change. And that was the folic acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the folic acid, we used the sort of the original form, if you will. And what happened is that most of us, 90% and up, is likely to be able to convert that original form to what we call a methylated form, another modified form that the body uses.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we thought we were going to skip that step and might as well cover 100% of the people.
Perfect.
So there is a methylated form we are using of folic acid now instead of the original form. So all those folks who have been complaining and sort of pleading to get a methylated form, it is now in a
We
new
did it.
LifePak. Yeah. And we ought so no more. It's there, and there are a couple of other things also we modify it in a way so that it can be absorbed without needing the body to convert it, that and so on. So
Perfect.
that's good. Oh, that's a new LifePak. Fewer capsules in general.
Yeah.
Now, that obviously this is LifePak regular. LifePak Nano still stays as it is because some of the capsules, some of the ingredients in that one, it has marine omega. That's an oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cannot compress oil.
Okay. True. Yeah. And so what would you say to somebody that's currently taking LifePak Nano? Would you stay there or would you go tablets with youth? Because you've got the oils in youth as well.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
All of them, right? Yeah. That's what I say.
yeah. No, I'll take LifePak with you.
Yeah.
And that's a great combo.
Okay.
That's a wonderful combo.
You got your foundational nutrition plus
Yeah, plus
genetic
advanced,
protection.
yeah, anti-aging. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. That's what I say too. Okay. There were, let's see, a few other questions. Oh, best place
Yes.
to buy your book.
Oh, it's everywhere. I think there might be an Instagram coming out very soon that you can actually just click on it. It takes you to Amazon. You can buy it. All your typical bookstores, obviously Amazon. I think
Yep.
Barnes and Noble's website, you can get it too. Yeah, where books are found, you'll be able to get it. But
Okay.
definitely Amazon.
Okay. I grabbed it there too. I know you can get it in the New Skin store as well.
Yeah, we're gonna place some there too.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna place some there too. And I think every time there's a meeting, those books will be somewhat visibly available. Yeah.
Love that. Okay. And then one other concept idea I just want to throw out there because I know in your book we touch a little on, or you do. I'm wrapping myself in it too with you. Cellular resistance and mitochondrial health, right? There's a lot of these buzzwords or
Yeah.
people online or influencers talking about mitochondrial health is so important, ditching the zombie cells, but really with what we have with these supplements, you're doing just that, right? I mean, and we're also measuring that essentially, that falls under nutritional health and being measured with the prism, right?
It is, and that's somewhat the unfortunate thing when certain competitors tend to hook on or focus on a particular process, if you will, I call it, or a biological pathway or whatever it is, and say
Yeah.
that's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that's what you should focus on. It's
Yeah.
sort of that. It's almost like a half truth, frankly. They're not saying it incorrectly, but neither do they know that is the only thing that matters.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I'm sort of stupid enough to admit I don't know everything about a body yet. Nobody does. Okay. And sure, we're going to make something sort of what do you call it? Important and so on at the mechanistic level, mitochondria and so on and so forth. And if it is, we are affecting it because you know why? Because the end result, which is the clinical benefit, I call it, the functional benefit, how your tissues work, how you can sleep better, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
Our products produce that
That's what I
benefit.
say. R squared day night.
Yeah, think about it, right? Yeah, we got cellular mechanism. So what I'm saying is, I think our mechanism is on target. I'm not no company is able to claim that that's the only mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, we cover it, no doubt. But the body is a symphony.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
Okay, you cannot play the Beethoven ninth or the fifth or whatever with one virtuoso violinist. Like Itzhak Perlman or whoever the great virtuoso violinist, they can only play concertos. They can't play. The body is not a concerto. The body is a symphony because there's so many complex mechanisms interacting with each other. Why do we think that one thing is going to drive the whole thing?
Yeah.
Right. So, and when you read the book again, once back on the book, it's always about these clustered, these groups of genes and so on. Because we really want to make sure people understand, the body, when you tune it in a way, you're tuning an orchestra. You're not tuning a single instrument. And that's what mitochondria, no, don't get me wrong, mitochondria is important and so on. Yeah. Yeah. But nonetheless, it's still a violin.
I love it. That's
Not
good.
enough.
That's good. Okay. And so all in all, if you were to wrap up,
Yeah.
your book, my biggest takeaways are your biological age and chronological age are two
Yes.
totally different things, right?
Yes. Yes.
And really, what I wanted people to walk away with today is not only how to find your book and get more educated on what we're talking about, but number two, what we could do about it, right? And
Yes.
I'm recommending to everybody to have their very own Prism so they can get scanned themselves regularly. Let's just touch on real quickly, how often are you scanning yourself with the Prism? How often are you recommending that be done?
For me, I'm religious in terms of the products I'm taking. So, and I don't forget. So I scan myself like every week, right? For the folks that are first starting off, remember, this is part of your opportunity too, right? Because new customers coming in, they're not quite, they're not quite a believer yet, in a way, if you will. Right? So they might take the product, but they might also invariably leave the product. So they should be measuring almost every day, if not every other day.
Okay. Perfect. But not more
Because
than once a day.
yeah, if they forget to take it, you're going to drop.
You'll see it.
You see it. And nothing is more compelling than seeing your own number.
Beautiful. True. My daughter will tell you that too.
All right. And see, all the young ones, it's absolutely, it's consistent. What your daughter tells you is what other young girls say. Oh, wow. I didn't realize this number is very compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her snack choices have changed. She'll come in and scan herself in my office every morning and then pack her lunch.
Yeah. Yes. So when this thing for a new person, when you say, wow, this is actually you can translate it to mean nutritional health. I think it's more meaningful for that customer or that consumer.
Yeah, more comprehensive, right? I mean,
the antioxidants, frankly, sometimes for a new person, you got to play scientist, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go and explain what an antioxidant is. Oh yeah, free radical. Seriously, what is a free radical?
And why is it important?
Yeah, you're down the
What
rabbit
wavelength
hole.
are you measuring? I could tell you.
Yeah. Reverse the conversation. Start with something that everybody understands and then say, here is how we're delivering it.
Oh, I love that.
Nothing changes.
Simplify it, and then we all live past 100.
Oh, yeah.
Around, right?
Yeah. You're all going to remember this. At the end, I guess we are almost up there. Remember, we all want to die healthy. Think about it.
I love that.
Okay.
That's beautiful. Joe, thank you so much. I know you've been traveling the world for a month now and hit the ground running with us. And
oh, gosh. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Love seeing and talking to all of you again anyway. So wonderful.
Thank you. Martha, thank you for translating. Scott, thank you for organizing. Dr. Joe, thank you as always for your heart.
Thanks, Sarah.
Brain. Thank you for being here. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.